Hey guys, I wanted to go over real quick some information from chapter 6 to kind of help you guys, and I want to show you how to use the calculator um, to use it. So I'm going to pull up my note sheet real quick. I'm going to post this for you guys. So if you look at your book on chapter 6, you kind of start talking about annuities, and we've already talked about compound and simple interest, and we're going to talk about a few more formulas. And you need to make sure you know how to use these formulas and then also how to input them in your calculator. So the annuity formula looks like this. It looks a little bit overwhelming, but really just the compound formula with a couple of extra steps. Your annuity is when you are using a regular schedule to put in money every month or every year or every quarter. Whereas compound, you're just using one lump sum and you're putting in. So your regular deposit is your PMT. That's what your PMT stands for. Your rate is your percent. That's always going to be as a decimal. Just a minute, I'm show this. Remember, rate is always your percentage, and that always needs to be as a decimal. N is the number of compounding periods that you're going to use in a year. Again, that could be monthly. If monthly means 12, yearly would be 1, quarterly would be 4. And then T is the number of years that you're going to make this deposit. And again, as I said, annuities assume that you put money into an account on a regular schedule. So every month, every year, every quarter, and you're going to let it sit there and you're going to let it earn interest. Okay. And whereas the compound interest, you're assuming that you're putting money in the account one time and then you're going to let it sit there. The next thing the chapter kind of talks about is a payout annuity. And when you're talking about a payout annuity, you're typically talking about when you're looking at retirement. So for example, let's say you think you want to retire, you've already saved up $500,000. And then from that $500,000, you want to take out a certain amount a month to make sure to last you the next 20 years. So this is the formula that you would use. This is the payout annuity. Your payout is your starting amount. Your PMT is your regular withdrawal. So what you're going to withdraw how often, how much you want to withdraw every month or for the next 20 years or so. N is the number of compound periods that you're using. And again, T is your number of years that you're going to withdraw this. And R is your percentage of your rate. And then we talk about loans. Loans is going to be the same type of formula. Notice here this is a negative raised to the negative MT, and this is also raised to the negative MT. So it's a similar formula. P naught is your starting amount of your principal. PMT this time is going to be your regular withdrawal, so the amount that you take out every month. R is your percentage again. N is the number of times it's compounded. And then T is a number of years for your loan. So just a little quick recap. Your compound is always going to be one deposit. Your annuity is always going to be many deposits. Again, deposits, what's going in. Your payout annuity, you're going to have many withdrawals. So you're taking out many things, okay? And then loan is you're making many payments, okay? Payments is going in, withdrawals is going out, okay? So quick little recap for that for you guys. All right, so what I want to do now is we're going to look at your textbook and I want to do some examples with you guys to kind of recap over how to do this, okay? So let's look at our first example. Let's look at an annuity, all right? And the problem says a traditional individual retirement account is a special type of retirement account in which the money you invest is exempt from income taxes until you withdraw it. If Charlotte deposits $100 each month into an IRA, earning 6% interest, how much will she have in the account after 20 years? All right, so let's look at what's important here. We're depositing $100 into the account each month, okay? And remember, our formula for annuity is your PMT times 1 plus R over N raised to the NT minus 1, and then all of this is divided by R over N. So what is our regular deposit here? What is our monthly deposit going to be? That's going to be your 100. Okay, I'm kind of walking you through the steps. 1 plus our rate here is 6%. So 6% as a decimal, we move our decimal 2 places to the left. So that would be 0.06 divided by. Now, this is how often it's compounded. We're talking about each month here. So our N here would be 12, okay, monthly. And then we're raising that to the NT, so that's going to be 12 times, and we're talking about 20 years. So that's going to be 20 here. And then we divide that by the same thing, which is going to be 0.06 over 12. All right. So what I want to do now is I want to show you guys how to input this on your calculator. When you guys do this, and I forgot the minus 1 here. When you guys do this on the calculator, the first thing you guys need to do is you need to make sure you do what's in parentheses first, okay? So in this parentheses, I see this information first. You need to do this first, then raise it to this power. Then we would subtract the 1, okay? And then divide it by this. And then you would multiply it by 100, okay? Or you could also multiply this by 100 and then divide it. Either way. All right, so let's look at our calculator. All right, so how am I going to do this in the calculator? So what you're going to do is you're going to do what's in parentheses first. So you would have to do your, I'm going to do the fraction first, 0.06 divided by 12. Oops. Try this again. It's going to be 0.005. And then you add the 1 to it. And so that's going to be 1.005. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to raise it to a power. So if you're using the online one, you can raise it to a power like this. It just raises this up. And I'm going to put parentheses in there. I'm going to do 12 times 20. And you could go ahead and do that if you wanted to. All right, so that's going to give me 3.3102. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to subtract the 1 from that. It's going to give us this. And then we're going to divide it by, and I'm going to put parentheses that R over N. Okay, so it's going to be 0.06 divided by 12. I'm going to put that in parentheses, close that, equals. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply it by that 100. And we get 46,204.09. Okay, and let's see if that's what they got. 46,204.09 is exactly what they got. And notice here, they do it in the same steps. They do this part first. That's 1.005. Then you raise it to 240 power, subtract the 1, okay? And then they do this process all kind of together. So it's up to you. If you wanted to go ahead and divide it, you could. If you want to multiply by 100 and then divide, you can do that too, okay? As long as you get the right answer. All right. Your book also shows you if you have a TI-83, how you can input this in the calculator on that, but I think it's just as easy just to use the regular method. All right, so this, then this is showing you how to use it again by the calculator. But this example, we're going to look at the payout method, okay? Payout annuity. So if you have $200,000 in your account when you retire in 30 years, okay, your retirement account earns 8% interest. How much do you need to deposit each month to meet your retirement goals? So you want to figure out how much deposit do I need to make to have a goal of $20,000 in 30 years, okay? So this $20,000, that is our starting amount, okay? That's how much that we want to have at the end. So that goes out to your payout annuity, okay? And then you're trying to find out what your monthly account will be. And then we put in that the rest of it, okay? So you're trying to figure out how much monthly account do I need to make. Your rate here is 0.08. You have 200,000. That's going to be your annuity amount. You are looking at 30 years here, so that's your time. And we're talking the monthly account, so that's 12. Okay, so you set it up like this. They're still showing you how to use the calculator. All right, and what you end up doing is you put this all in the calculator, you get your amount, you divide it by that, and then you're going to have to end up dividing this amount by 200,000 to get this, okay? So you would do, well, yeah. Okay. All right, so this is still using the calculator. All right, here's the payout. The other one was just a regular annuity and you work backwards, okay? After retiring, you want to be able to take $1,000 every month for a total of 20 years from your retirement account. The account earns 6% interest. How much will you need in your account when you retire? All right, so we want to take 1,000 every month. So 1,000 is going to be your PMT. You do your 1 minus all of this, okay? And this is your rate. We're talking about monthly here, so that's going to be your N. And then we're talking about negative, your 12 is your N, and your T here will be 20 years, okay? And we're going to divide it by the same amount. All right, so when I put this in the calculator, you need to make sure you do your, this part first, right? So you have your 1 plus 0.06 divided by 12, and then you're going to raise that to the negative 20 times 12. 0.06. All right, so let's go over how to put this in the calculator. All right, so we're going to do our 0.06 divided by 12 first. And then we add the 1. And now we're going to raise it to, I'm going to put parentheses around this. And this is going to be a negative 12 times 20. Oops, negative 240. Let's try this again. All right, we're going to do 0.06 divided by 12 plus the 1. And then we're going to raise it to the negative 240. Okay, we get that. All right, and then what we have to do is we have to do 1 minus this. So what I would do is I would write this number down, and I would write it a good long decimal, so 0.302096114. Okay, so let's clear that out. So we're going to do 1 minus 0.302096114 equals. And then we're going to divide that by what? 0.06 divided by 12. Close that parentheses. And then the last thing we'll do is multiply by that, by 1,000. And we get 139,580. Let's see. It's 139,580 will be in the account by the time you retire. So that's how much you would need in your account after 20 years. Okay. All right, so that was an example of the payout. Now let's do an example of the loans. The loan formula is a very similar formula. Instead, though, you're paying to the loan. You're paying your bank for the loan. Okay. You're making many monthly payments, or most loans are monthly. All right. Let's look at this one. Abigail can afford $200 per month as a car payment. If she can get an auto loan at 3% interest for 60 months, which is 5 years, and we always talk about years. If you're given it in months, you need to convert it to years. How expensive of a car can she afford? In other words, what amount of loan can she pay off with $200 per month? So 200 per month, 1 minus 1 plus our rate here is 0.03 over, okay, 12. And we're talking about monthly, and we're talking about 5 years. That'd be -5 times 12 divided by 0.03 over 12. Okay, so let's practice put this in the calculator. Again, you need to do what's in parentheses first. And we're raising it from -5 to 12, so that would be -60. All right, so clear this out. We're going to do 0.03 divided by 12. Add the 1 to it. And we're going to raise that up to -60, because that's -5 times 12. Oops. Okay, we get that amount. And now we do need to do that 1 minus this. So I'm going to write this number down, and I will do a lot of decimal places at 0.860869005. We're going to do 1 minus that. So 1 minus 0.860869105. Actually, you could just press this answer button. Yeah, this calculator, it actually has the answer button there, equals. So we get that. And then we're going to divide it by your 0.03 over 12. Okay, get that. And then the last thing you want to do is multiply it by your P and T, which was 200 here. And we get 11,130, which is how much the car loan is worth. So they can afford a loan for $11,000. And that would be a $200 per month car payment for 5 years. Okay. So you can also do a mortgage loan. There's lots of examples of that, but I really just wanted to kind of go back over again with you guys, difference between them, and then also show you how to put it in the calculator. And then please make sure you try your work problems at the bottom of this week's lessons. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me.